Rate plans in their simple form are the rules on which you will want to base all your pricing. The first question we have when starting to set up rates is, are your rates room-based or occupancy-based? Room-based rates have a flat rate on a room type. Occupancy-based rates have a different rate depending on how many persons are staying in the room. For example, double room for one person is €100 per night. Double room for two people is €115 per night. In this guide, we will be setting up various rate plans tailored to the unique rate structures of individual properties. The list of rate plans we will set up for room-based rates are standard rate that is room-based, non-refundable rate that is derived, bed and breakfast rate that is occupancy-based. Navigate to inventory and select rate plans. Let's go over each field before we start setting up the rates to be more efficient. Add a title to your rate plan. This is usually something that describes the rate. For example, standard rate, base rate, non-refundable rate, bed and breakfast rate, etc. Meal type has a drop-down list with the options: room only, bed and breakfast, half board, full board, all-inclusive, custom meal plan, and self-catering. Cancellation policy will have a drop-down list with all the policies that you have created. Select one. If you have set up more than one currency, you can create a rate plan with another currency. Min days advance is if you want to have a restriction on the rate plan that, for example, it cannot be booked with less than 2 days prior to arrival. Max days is where you add how many days in the future you want this rate plan to be available. You can skip this part, but if you add days to min or max, you will also have to add days to the other one. Activate at specific date range is if you want to have a limited time on the rate plan, we recommend using offers rather than rate plans for this. Derived rate is when you want a rate to be calculated and controlled by another rate. For example, your non-refundable rates should always be 10% lower than your standard rate. Adding that rate as a derived rate will automatically calculate the non-refundable rate for you, so you will not need to manually input the rates for that rate plan. Select your room types for the rate plan from the drop-down list under Affected Room Types. For the rate to be room-based, the box One Price for All Occupancies needs to be ticked. Automatic calculation is where you will set up your occupancy-based rule. Select the room types, and then for each room type, select the default occupancy that you want the rates to be calculated by. In the superior room, select 2, keep 1 for double room. Now add by how much the rate should increase for the double room and decrease for the superior room. As you can see, the grayed out rates will change according to what you add to the input field. The restrictions can be added now or later on. You can choose to have the rates restricted if you tick the boxes or type in the input field down to a day of the week. If you want your rate plan to be a package rate or simply bed and breakfast rate that has an extra item bundled into the rate, you will need to add an item from the drop-down list, Sell with Extras. This list will have all the extra items that you created earlier. Select breakfast. Select the sell mode of the item. I will select per person per night. The amount is the amount from your extra item, but you are able to overwrite it here if you want the rate split to be different. Add to booking price after booking, mandatory extra, will add the item price to the rate that is displayed on the booking engine. For example, the bed and breakfast rate is displayed at €100, but then when the guest is completing their reservation, the extra item and price will be added on. This can create confusion, but can be helpful in other cases. Select how you would like your item to appear on the booking and invoice. Hover over the question mark to see the explanation of each option. Apply 1-day offset means that the item will not be added on the day of arrival, but on the day after the first night. Attach your taxes from the drop-down list. Only for channels, hide on IBE means that the rate plan will not be visible on your booking engine. This is used for rates that are connected to OTA channels or rates that staff members should only have access to. Save your rate plan. We will start by creating a new rate plan. Select Add New Rate Plan. Add a title to your rate plan. Select your meal type. In this case, I will select Room Only. Select the cancellation policy. Select the currency. You can skip over min and max days, date range, and max adults. For the rate to be room-based, the box One Price for All Occupancies needs to be ticked. Add your room types from the drop-down list. You can add your rates now, or you can do that after you have created the rate plan. To add the rates, simply type in the new rate and copy for all weekdays. I do not want to have any restrictions on my main rate plan, so I will skip this part. Add your taxes from the drop-down list. Tick the box, Save as a default rate, and save the rate plan. Now, delete the preset rate plan as you do not need that. We will start by creating a new rate plan that is non-refundable and derived from your standard rate. Select Add New Rate Plan. Add a title to your rate plan. Select your meal type. In this case, I will select room only. Select the cancellation policy. Here I will select my non-refundable policy. Select the currency. I would add min days 1 for this rate as I do not offer both my non-refundable rate and standard rate on arrival day, as both of them would be non-refundable. There is no reason for me to give a 10% discount for last-minute bookings. Select derived rate. Select the parent rate. Select the relation. In this case, I will choose decrease by percentage and type 10 in the amount input. For the rate to be room-based, the box One Price for All Occupancies needs to be ticked. Add your room types from the drop-down list. You can see that the rates are grayed out and you are not able to amend them. This is because they are calculated from your standard rate. Attach your taxes and save the rate plan. Bed and breakfast rate is usually dependent on occupancy per room, so we will set this rate up as occupancy-based rate. Select Add New Rate Plan. Add a title to your rate plan. Select your meal type. In this case, I will select bed and breakfast. Select the cancellation policy. Select the currency. Select automatic calculation. Select your room types. In the increase per adult field, add your price for breakfast. Update the price for one person for all of your room types. Keep in mind that the price you add should have breakfast for one included. Click on Sell with Extras and select breakfast. Sell mode should be per person per night. The amount is the cost of the breakfast. Select Apply one-day offset so that breakfast will be posted on the day after arrival for the meal report. Select how you would like the breakfast split to be shown in your accounting, report, and on invoices. I will keep the options as they are preset. Attach your taxes and save. To deep dive into rate plan setup and restrictions, we have support articles that explain each field in details.